This is the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast with Mike Canet and Ryan Herbert of Prostatis Financial, now celebrating 20 years helping families build successful retirements and lasting family legacies. Mike is a financial planner and estate planning attorney with a master's degree in tax and 4-time Amazon best-selling author. Ryan is a 5-star Wealth Management Award winner and top-ranked financial advisor by Forbes. Now, the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast.
Welcome into the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast, now on YouTube. That way you can see us, you can see Mike Canet, you can see Ryan Herbert, myself, Mike Macho, giving you this great information that we give you every single evening on the radio, podcast, and YouTube. Today we're going to talk about if you can trade your old annuity for a newer one. Also, how does war and news events affect today's stock market, and more importantly, your 401k. And of course, we're going to talk about taxes. Mike and Ryan are here for you each and every week to help you grow, keep, and distribute your wealth in the most tax-efficient manner possible. Mike Canet, welcome. How are you? It's great to see you.
Great to see you, Michael. I mean, so it's not very often we actually get to sit across from each other in the studios. So this is kind of exciting, and I know we're doing the Facebook Live version of these things now, and I just want to tell you how many people have sent us comments and posting that I have a perfect face for radio and I need to reconsider things. So yeah, just glad to be here with you, Michael.
You know what we always hear from listeners that call into the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast, by the way, that's 866-597-1040 and online at thesavvyinvestorradio.com. They say that they love to listen to you guys, to you and Ryan Herbert, because you guys are very informative. And that's what you guys are here for. That's what you have a passion for. And that passion has led you to 20 years of helping people retire. It's a long time.
So it is a long time in our industry. And I mean, I've been in practice for better part of 30 years, but I've owned my own practice. And basically back in the late 90s, I was like everybody else. I worked for one of those big box stores and, you know, the managers told me what to sell. And you know, I pretended to tell the client that, you know, I was doing the right thing for them when I was really being just told by some manager, here's what you have to sell. And after a couple of years of that, I made the decision that that wasn't the approach, right? I'm an attorney. I have a master's degree in tax. I do estate planning. I wanted to, you know, everything in my body told me that I'm supposed to be doing the best thing for the client. And when you work for somebody else instead of the client, you're working for somebody else, and they're the decision makers, not you. So, you know, in 2003, you know, 2001, I started the transition. In 2003, I completely went independent on my own, and I haven't looked back. It's been a great experience, and yeah, 20 years, and some of the coolest stories. You know, we have great stories of clients that came out for the anniversary event, but it's also about the team I'm surrounded by. I mean, you know, between Adrian and Ryan and Catherine and Brian, I mean, I just have a phenomenal team that have allowed me here in Maryland and Florida
as well,
and even Michigan. You know, we work with people up in Michigan, all over the country, but it's been an incredible ride. It's been an incredible experience, and you know, just the party celebration we've had this last week, you know, over the 20th anniversary parties that we've done. It's been really cool seeing some of these clients that have been with me for 25 and 30 years just coming back, and you know, and their kids are working with me and their grandkids are working with me. So it's been a really cool experience.
I want to get to the topics here in just a minute. We're going to talk about taxes, but I want to touch on this for just a second to really show the legacy, the retention that you have with your clients. And the story that you always tell, you know, briefly here is that you've been a pallbearer to your clients. I mean, who can say that when you're dealing with your money, your life's work? Hey, Mike, here's my life's work. Help me with it. When you are able to touch people in such a way that their family asks you to be their pallbearer, man, that's saying a lot.
It makes me tear up every time I think of, her name was Anita. You know, when she came to me, this was back in the day when you did this like carbonless paper to take notes and stuff, you know, kind of before computers and PC.
Us old guys know what you're talking about.
So that's back when we did taxes by hand back in those days. So her and her husband came in to see me, and you know, he was one of those, he had that, if you've ever seen Caddyshack, I guess you get a cup of soup with that hat.
Yeah.
So he had a fedora that, right?
Yeah.
And
but it looks good on you.
And so he clearly didn't want to be there. He was a do-it-yourselfer. He knew what he wanted to know. He didn't think he needed any outside help, but she felt that there was something missing in their financial plan and their retirement planning. And he had just retired, and to come in and sit down with us and having a conversation. And every couple minutes, he would reach over like and poke her in the shoulder, just kind of poke. And after he did it a couple times, he noticed that I was writing a little note, and he looked at me and said, what are you doing? And I said, well, every time you poke her in the shoulder, I add $50 to your bill. And he got up and walked out. He was just so angry. And I get it. It was a little bit of a cocky thing to do. Yeah. But to me, it was one of those things that it was just such disrespect for your partner, your life partner. And he died a couple years later. I guess he must have died in 1997-ish. She became my client. I mean, immediately. She came in, we took care of things. And, 25 years go by. She died a few years ago. And her niece, she didn't have any kids. Her niece, Margaret, called me and said, hey, Anita's passing. She's in hospice. She really wants to talk to you before she passes. And I was on vacation, so I actually made some arrangements to get home a little bit early. And I went to see her. She opened her eyes, said, hi, Michael, and said, thank you. We had a really brief conversation. I left, and she died like 15 minutes after I left. And so, her niece took the position that she was waiting for me to come so she could say her goodbyes to me. And that was the kind of that powerful epiphany I had that, oh my God, I made a difference in somebody's life that was that dramatic. And that's the reward you get after 20 years of working with families. I mean, it's an incredible experience, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
It's tough. And by the way, you're listening to the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast, but it's a tough thing, your life's work, and not to over sensationalize this, but it is. It's your life's work. And then how are you going to make it last? So we're going to give you the number here in just a minute. So that way, when the time is right for you, you can reach out to Prostatis, Mike, Ryan Herbert, and the team here. But I want to talk about this because one of the biggest worries that retirement savers have are taxes. In fact, 7 in 10 Americans told a new study that they are concerned higher taxes in the future will impact their retirement income. About equal number of that say that they stopped using a financial advisor if they didn't help effectively manage those taxes. That's your wheelhouse. And recently, during our 20th anniversary town hall, Yvonne, who's a big listener to the show, she was here, and she had a statement and a question for you, Mike. And I think she encapsulates really how we are feeling as Americans when it comes to taxes. Listen to what she had to say.
I am hoping to retire in 6 years, and I listened to you guys for years. But I've paid my fair share. I will for the next 6 years. I need help so I avoid paying that 30% right off the top. I've worked hard. I want to keep that money.
She's worked hard. She wants to keep that money, and she doesn't want to give away 30% right off the top. It's obvious that she's been listening to you for a long time.
One of the things that infuriates me about my industry, right? I mean, because I am part of the financial planning, the retirement planning industry, right? And one of the things that it's infuriating, it's embarrassing. I do not understand how somebody can say, I'm a financial planner, I'm a financial advisor, and then give you a statement. And on the bottom of the statement, it says, sorry, I can't talk to you about taxes.
That you can't see, basically.
Right. It's in the small print. But how can somebody give financial advice that implicates your income and implicates your well-being? How can they give advice and not understand the tax implications of the very advice they're giving? If you showed up in somebody's office and they said, hey, I want to make an investment vehicle for you, I'm going to design a portfolio for you, and every year you're going to lose 20 to 30% right off the top, please sign the bottom of this paper so I can start your invest. Who signs up for that?
Yeah.
Why in the world would you choose to work with somebody who says, look, I have to turn a blind eye. I know you're losing 20 to 30%. I know the market just dropped 50% and you got a tax bill because of it. And I'm sorry, that's just what it is. Everybody has to pay their taxes. Well, you know what? You're wrong. That person is wrong. The industry is wrong. Those 7 out of 10 people, they're spot on. Yvonne, she is spot on. There is absolutely no reason that you would want to work or should work with somebody who does not understand and is not willing to provide the guidance. You should not go through retirement knowing up front that you're going to lose 20 to 30% to taxes. That's insane.
But you just said something, because we're over here focusing on losing 20 to 30% off the market, because that's what we see in the headlines. And all the while, Uncle Sam's got his hand in our back pocket, and he's going to take 20 to 30% if we don't do anything. So we're focused on the wrong thing.
Sleight of hand. Well, I think you have to be focused on both, right? I mean, so, you've worked hard. You made smart choices with this money as you've gone along in life. And you're at that point now where you don't want to take the risk. So in your mind's eye, in the conversations you're having with those advisors, is that, hey, we have to make sure that, your income's secure. I agree with that. Yeah. Make sure you have, and we want to take the right amount of risk with your portfolio. And, this is how much risk you can take. But that's only part of the conversation. And quite frankly, if you want to have a complete conversation, if you truly want to understand what a holistic financial planning looks like, if you want to see what a true financial planner can do for you, give our offices a call at 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040. Sit down with Ryan, myself, and our team. And yes, we're going to do everything that a normal advisor would do for you, right? The typical, stereotypical advisor. We're going to show you how to create income streams. We're going to talk to you about the amount of risk you're taking. We're going to talk to you about the fees you're paying. We're going to talk to you about long-term care. We're going to talk to you about risks like homeowners insurance and automobile insurance. We're going to talk to you about estate planning. But folks, we have 3 years, less than 3 years left of the lowest tax rates we've ever seen in your life. And taxes are going to go up. Why give up 20 to 30% when you have the opportunity to make smart choices with your money? Give us a call, 866-597-1040.
Those Trump tax cuts that you're talking about, they end in the end of 2025. So beginning of 2026, taxes are going up.
And everything that you loved about the tax cuts, right? Everything that you loved about them, they go away. So all the good stuff disappears. Everything you didn't like about it stays. Salt limitation stays. Everything you hate about the taxes that you're doing today, those things stay. They're going to just dig into you further and further and further.
Mike, and I hear you, man, but I'm having a tough time believing that our politicians, our government are going to do that to us. I think everybody's laughing. What are you talking about?
Yeah, because they're such good stewards with our money. They're such good stewards with money.
And I'm not even going to get you started on that, because I know we can go on for hours on that. That just infuriates you. It boils your blood to talk about that. But back to your complete retirement plan and the tax analysis that you guys do, 866-597-1040. Again, 866-597-1040, or online at thesavvyinvestorradio.com. Again, that's thesavvyinvestorradio.com. Right there, front page, you can schedule a time with Mike, with Ryan, and the team at Prostatis to get started on that tax analysis. And that doesn't take a lot of time. You guys are going to go through everything that you described to help you pay the least amount of taxes. So let's talk annuities, because that seems to be a word that a lot of people try to stay away from. But when we talk about that, annuities offering a guaranteed income for life, which is a good thing. But today's higher interest rates mean that there's a higher payout for a lot of those annuities. However, some people already have an annuity, and they purchased an annuity when the interest rates were low.
So you know what just happened, right? As soon as you mentioned the word annuity, like 500 buttons pushed to change the radio station. Because there's that perception, right?
Exactly.
And unfortunately, what we have out there is a world of, we're going to do air quote advisors.
Right.
That, if you have a flat tire, you need an annuity. Mm-hmm. You have a broken arm, an annuity will fix that. Those statements aren't true, right? I mean, annuity is not the right thing for everybody. But contrary to another popular slogan, right? I hate annuities and you should too. Right. That's just as stupid, right? I mean, the only slogan that truly is applicable in our industry is I hate taxes and you should too. Now that's an applicable. I like that slogan, right? But the fact is that an annuity is just another tool. And think about it from this perspective. If you sat down with a contractor, come into your house and you wanted to put an addition, or maybe you just want to remodel your bathroom, and they show up the first day of the job and they have a toolbox, and they open up the toolbox as you're talking to them and they're drinking their coffee and eating their donut, right? And they have a hammer, a screwdriver, and a saw. Now, the reality is they can probably do the bathroom with a hammer, screwdriver, and a saw, but how comfortable are you with the fact that they're going to do a good job? How comfortable are you with the idea that they're going to be able to do everything that you actually need them to do, because they only have 3 tools? Mm-hmm. Well, that's what's wrong with an annuity salesman, because he has one tool. It's all he's got. That's the same problem with a stock guy. That's all he has. So would you rather have a guy who shows up to your house and he's got, not only does he have his pickup truck, but he's got a whole panel truck, and the thing is packed with tools? Now, he doesn't need every single tool for the job, but won't you feel better him being at your house knowing that he has the right tool for the right job? And that's exactly why you want to work with a financial planner who is not pigeonholed into, I have to sell you an annuity, or I have to sell you stocks because I have no other choices.
So is this a marketing play that we need to be careful with
absolutely.
As we're listening? Because if you, let's say, for example, and this is hypothetically speaking, if I am a stock person, I'm going to tell you that annuities are bad. You need to keep your money in the market because over time it's going to go up, so on and so forth. If I am an insurance agent and I only sell annuities, I'm going to say, hey, you need to stay out of the stock market because it's risky. You need an annuity. So we have to be on the lookout for that type. And I'm going to call it for what it is. It's marketing.
Well, it absolutely is marketing. I mean, I'm not trying to beat up CFPs,
Right.
but if you go to the CFP website, it says at the CFP website why you want a CFP, best marketing tool out there, right? I mean, it's just amazing.
And that's a certified financial planner.
Certified financial planner. And I'm not trying to denigrate financial planners, certified CFPs, but the reality is that there's all sorts of marketing out there telling you good, bad, and otherwise. And for you to automatically go into a situation that says, I'm never going to talk to somebody who talks about annuities, or I'm never going to talk to somebody who talks about life insurance, or I'm never going to talk to somebody who talks about stocks, bonds, mutual funds, whatever it happens to be. The only person you should not talk to is somebody who doesn't talk to you about taxes, right? But kind of coming full circle to the question at hand, yeah, there are a lot of people out there that have annuities, and we're going to call them old, right? Because when bank interest rates are low, and banks and annuity companies all vying for your dollar, they all want your money, right? So when interest rates are low at banks, annuity companies said, well, we don't have to make you any offer. We don't have to entice you, because we can do just a little bit better than a bank. And if we're doing better than bank, just like now people are like, well, I'll go do a bank because I can get 5% in a bank and the stock market's only doing 6%. Why take the risk? Well, this is the same thing that insurance companies do. Well, as interest rates are coming back up, think about this. If you bought bonds and interest rates are coming back up, you're losing money. Well, for insurance companies to be competitive, they now have to raise their rates. They have to raise their offerings. They have to raise their participation rates, their returns. And so we're seeing over the last 6 months to a year, insurance companies coming out and saying, we have a better annuity now. We'll give you more money. We'll pay out higher returns for you. We'll let you have more income, because they are marketing and they want that same dollar. So to your point, yes, if you have an annuity, if you're taking income from an annuity, if you're letting it grow, if you haven't started your income, it does not matter. You should sit down with somebody who truly understands how annuities work. And here's the slippery slope. Do you go back to the same person who sold you the annuity in the first place and say, hey, I listened to Mike and Ryan on the radio, and they said we should have our annuity reviewed? The answer, here's what's going to happen. The guy's going to say, yeah, we should replace your annuity, and here's the next one, because all he sells is annuities. He may or may not truly understand. We had a listener. It was amazing. He had worked for AXA Annuity Company. Not good, bad, or otherwise about the annuity company. He had worked for AXA Equitable for 40 or 50 years. And that's all he sold were AXA annuities. And for years he listened to our radio show, and he finally came into my office and sat down with me and wanted a review. So we did analysis on his annuities.
This is an annuity guy.
This was an annuity guy. Okay. And we sat down and did an analysis on his annuities, and we told him exactly what we saw. And some things were good and some things were bad. And the things that were bad, he was like, no, that's not the way it works. And we were like, absolutely, that's how you were paying for a death benefit that's less than the cash value of your contract. Why are you paying for a death benefit? He was paying for a $2 million death benefit, the fees on a $2 million death benefit for a contract that was worth $4 million, by way of example. And when he didn't believe us, we actually got on the phone with AXA and had AXA explain to their annuity salesperson how the annuities work. That's how goofed up this industry is. Even the people selling the products that they represent don't understand. So the solution is you call somebody like Ryan, myself, and our team who are independent financial planners.
Independent financial planners.
We work for you. I don't work for an insurance company. I don't work for a brokerage firm. I don't work for some big investment firm. You don't see my name. You don't see a little green arrow going down the road. You can't push over on a domino and have fall over. I don't have an orange bunny talking to you. I don't have a Snoopy's character, Peanuts character dancing across. I don't have those things. I don't work for those. I work for you. My team and I work for you. If you want to understand what that truly looks like, give us a call at 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040. Sit down with Ryan, myself, and our team. We will show you how to create income streams, which is important. We'll talk about risk, fees. We'll talk about long-term care, taxes, always very, very important. But you'll also be able to have us take a look at your existing portfolio and tell you exactly good, bad, and otherwise. And I'm telling you right now, it is going to make a difference in your life. Even if you choose not to hire us, it is worth that hour of time for you to get that second opinion that will make a difference.
Wait a minute. You're saying that if I have an annuity and I have a question about it, I can come see you, do the annuity review with you and Ryan and the team at Prostatis, and if we don't gel for whatever reason, we're okay. There's no obligation.
That's absolutely true, because at the end of the day, look, I do make a living doing this, but I don't want to work with people who don't want to work with me. I have a personality, you have a personality, and if our personalities don't click, that's okay, right? I mean, I'm not for everybody and everybody's not for me. And you have to find that person that you're extremely comfortable with, because they're going to be your partner in life.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, you need to have the information from somebody who's not biased, who doesn't have an incentive just to sell you another annuity to make the change. You want to truly understand what this annuity is doing for you and what your options are. And that's what you get from Ryan, myself, and our team. 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040.
And that's for that annuity review, 866-597-1040. Call in now. Your calls are being answered live. Let them know, hey, I want that annuity review that Mike was talking about on the Savvy Investor Radio, and that will get you, that'll get you started. 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040. As Mike mentioned, it's complimentary, 866-597-1040, and online at the SavvyInvestorRadio.com. Again, that's the SavvyInvestorRadio.com. Right there, you can schedule a time on their website, the SavvyInvestorRadio.com. Whatever you do, make sure that you do take action and put a plan together and get that annuity reviewed. That way you can make sure that you are doing the right thing. And also, we're now available on Facebook, YouTube, and as well as all the other social media platforms. When you go there, the podcast as well, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Like, subscribe, and share with your friends. That way, not only do we get to share this information, but you get to help out a friend as well if they are in this situation. And when they feel the need, when that time comes that they do need the help, Mike and Ryan are going to be here not only for you, but for them as well. 866-597-1040 and online at the SavvyInvestorRadio.com. Let's get to some birthdays. And the big birthday, of course, is the 20th anniversary of Prostatis. You've been doing this a long time. I love to say this, helping people retire, because that's a big step. The rest of your life, you've worked hard, you got your life's work, and here I go, man. I'm going to, sail on into the sunset with this, and it's got to last me.
Absolutely. And it is an exciting birthday. I mean, we're actually adults now, right? We're 20. We're actually adults now. But
we can get married now. We don't have to date anymore.
But I also want to say, thank you to all the clients that we have that have birthdays this month. We say each and every week, happy birthday to, everybody from, Sally to Brian to Daniel and Karen. I mean, yes, birthdays are important, but it's also about recognizing those people that make a difference in our lives. And after 20 years of this, I do have choices and I can do things that I want to do. And I've had a very, very successful practice. But at the end of the day, it still boils down to those individual relationships that you've developed over the years. And it would not be the same without each and every one of them. So thank you very much for all of our clients for helping us be here for the last 20 years and making us the success we are. We can't do it without you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And for those of you listening to the Savvy Investor Radio, we appreciate you. Thanks for listening. This is Mike Canet. We'll see you, the Savvy Investor, next week.
Advisory services offered through Prostatis Financial Advisors Group, a registered investment advisor. Insurance licensed in Maryland. Prostatis Financial Advisors Group, LLC is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Prostatis Financial Advisors Group is licensed in your state, please call 410-863-1040. Prostatis Group, LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through representatives of Prostatis Financial Advisors Group.